Today, an interview with Zaya and her mother, Michelle. Hey, before you start watching the video, please let me apologize for the really sucky sound and the extremely choppy editing. If you just could please look beyond those things and just focus on the content, I think you're going to get a lot out of the video. In 2001, Zaya's dad came to my English school for the first time. The first thing he said to me was, "I'm not Japanese, I'm Mongolian." He explained he and his wife were looking for a native speaking English teacher to teach their daughter to read and write in English using phonics. Now, I happen to have a very good phonics system that I've developed. It's called English is Crazy. I showed him my system and how it works. We set up an appointment for her trial lesson, and I asked him how much English she already knew. He told me she was learning English using YouTube, but other than that, she didn't have any exposure to English. So I just assumed that she would have, a few words in English, a few phrases, and be using katakana for pronunciation as she was attending Japanese schools. Well, actually, I was in for a big surprise, because as soon as she walked in the door, she started jabbering away in practically perfect English. Her sentence patterns were practically perfect, and her accent was spot on American. I was blown away. I was blown away by her vocabulary. I was blown away by how she could express ideas in English, and even her ability to tell me knock-knock jokes. So I think today you're going to really learn a lot from Zaya's herself and from Zaya's mom as I interview them each separately, and you can get a lot of good ideas of what you yourself can do to raise bilingual children. This is Zaya, a Mongolian girl living in Japan, speaking not only Mongolian and Japanese, but also fluent English.
Hi, I'm Gail, and I want to introduce you to a very special person. This is Zaya. Thank you so much for coming today, Zaya.
I'm very excited to be here today, and I am wondering what your questions.
I don't know. I think they're questions that my students wanted me to ask you. First, before we start anything, why don't you write your name in so everybody can see your Mongolian name? So this is Enguzia. How do you say it? I totally said it the wrong way.
Enguzia.
Enguzia. Same name, Gail. How do you say it?
Enguzia.
Enguzia.
Okay.
That's hard. Okay, just go ahead and put it on here. This is her name in Mongolian. And is this your name and this is your father's name?
No, this is my full name.
Oh, okay. Before we talk about Zaya's ability to speak English and how she did that, I want to ask you some personal questions. When I was teaching you in 2021, you told me you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Can you explain about that?
I have a YouTube channel called Zaya the Explorer, and most of the time I talk about animals and the things they can do.
Which animals did you make videos about?
Well, all sorts, I guess.
Are you still doing the channel?
Well, not so much anymore, but I am thinking of making some more videos for that channel.
What are they going to be about?
I still don't have any thoughts now exactly, but I think we'll come around.
Okay. Also, you often star in the videos your mom makes for her YouTube channel. Can you tell us about your mom's YouTube channel?
Well, my mom's YouTube channel is about her family living in Japan, and we go to some places, and and also she went to Disney Sea.
That was fun. What is the name of the YouTube channel? I think people would like to watch it.
And the name is Taste of Life.
Okay. And what language are the videos in?
Mongolian and a bit English.
Okay. Because you're speaking English. Do you like making the videos?
Yeah, I really like to make videos, my mom.
That's great. I want to ask you some questions. Even though you're only 10 years old, you've been living in a foreign country for 7 years. And I want to ask you if you're aware of cultural differences between Mongolia and Japan.
Well, there are some few differences. Well, in Japan, we know that some adults or their parents make the kids do their own things or like put on their clothes at maybe preschool.
Mm-hmm.
Like make them put on their shoes by themselves. But in Mongolia, the adults always help them out.
Okay. In Japan, the parents make the kids get dressed and do things by themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. And in Mongolia, the parents help the kids?
Yeah, when in first grade, my mom used to think that the centers were really heavy and she would usually walk me home.
Well, I also think the land sales were really heavy, and so I didn't buy one for my kids. I just bought them backpacks, really light backpacks. So Zaya, is there anything you would like Japanese people to know about Mongolia that they may not know?
Well, Mongolia is bigger than Japan, but they have a smaller population.
Oh, okay. What would you like Mongolian people to know about Japan?
Well, at school we learn kanjis, and in Mongolia, since we don't have those, and in Mongolia we always use a pen to write.
Wow.
But in Japan we always use a pencil because you'll make lots of mistakes when writing kanjis.
Okay. Is there a place in the world that you would really like to go to?
Well, I would really like to go to Paris and London to see some famous landmarks or places like the Eiffel Tower in Paris and Big Ben in London.
Okay, great. From now, I want to talk to you about how you became an English speaker. It's not surprising that you speak Mongolian and that you speak Japanese. You go to Japanese school, and at home you have Mongolian parents, and so those languages make sense. But it doesn't make any sense that you speak English. So we want you to explain to us about your experience becoming an English speaker. Do you remember a time when you couldn't speak English?
Well, I couldn't speak English before I came to Japan. When I was a bit older, like maybe 5 to 6, about 6 maybe, I started speaking English.
Okay. Do you remember becoming aware that, oh, now I can speak English? I couldn't speak it before, but now I can. Was there a time, like a day, you actually realized you could understand English?
No, I don't really think I had any realization that I was learning another language.
Okay. What kind of videos did you, let me ask you, I forgot to ask you, what was your main way of learning English?
Well, watching YouTube videos before before I came to your school. So YouTube was my very first English teacher in a way.
I think so too. Can you tell us what kind of videos you watched in English?
Not so many that comes to mind, but Peppa Pig.
That was a big one, right?
Yeah, Peppa Pig.
Yeah. Peppa Pig has been an English teacher for many kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember any of the names of the other channels? Did you? I'm sure you watched a lot of science channels and channels about animals. Do you remember that? And the reason I know that because of your vocabulary. Your vocabulary has so many words in it about animals.
Well, now I am watching lots of English channels. So I would have to say now some things about animals, like the wild cat. And they talk about the abilities of animals, and I really like it.
Oh, okay, great. When you were little, what language did you use to speak to your parents in?
Well, before I could speak English, already Mongolian.
And now, what do you speak in?
And Mongolian and English sometimes a bit mixed together. So,
Okay, right. Let me ask you a question about your Japanese speaking experience, okay? You came to Japan when you were 3, and you immediately entered the Japanese daycare system called Hoikuen. What was your experience entering Hoikuen at 3 years old and not knowing any Japanese?
well, it was a pretty rough start, I'd have to say. I couldn't understand what they were saying. Sometimes I would cry. It was a lot of masses.
Do you think it was worth it now that you can speak 3 languages? That even though it was difficult, was it valuable?
Yeah, it was pretty worth it.
Okay, good. How hard is it to switch between the languages?
Well, at home I only speak Japanese, but at home, because I use both English and Mongolian, it sometimes get a bit hard. Sometimes I forget the word, and it's just all scrambled up.
Now, is there one language you prefer speaking over the other languages?
Not so much, I guess they're kind of all equal.
That's a great answer. I'm going to talk to you. Oh, this is important. When you're speaking each language, does your personality change? When you're using Japanese, when you're using Mongolian, and when you're using English, do you feel like you're the same person or do you act differently?
Well, English and Mongolian, my personality does not change a bit. But in English, Japanese, Arabic, it can, my personality changes when I'm speaking Japanese sometimes.
Does it?
My voice is a bit quieter, a bit
A little bit higher.
Yeah, and also I feel a bit shy for some reason.
Just by switching the language. That's so interesting. This is an important question. How much effort do you feel you had to make to speak the 3 languages? Did it feel like hard work or study when you were young?
Well, I'd have to say, English was not hard work at all. It was kind of natural. But for Japanese, it was some hard work learning the words.
Okay. And that's because you didn't start when you were like 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about your experience reading and writing in the languages, because that's completely different from speaking a language. You used my English course called English is Crazy. How hard was it to learn all of the English phonics rules?
It was the work. I kept forgetting some of the silent letters. I thought Why are there so many silent letters?
Because does Mongolian have silent letters in the written language?
Why? Not. I don't think they have silent letters.
And in Japanese, there's no silent letters. Yeah. So English had all these crazy rules. Did you agree English was is crazy?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you could already speak so much English, your level of English was practically the same as an American 7-year-old, I would say. I think you picked up reading and writing so quickly, like I taught you for 7 months, and you became pretty much a second grade level in that time. And I'm pretty sure that's because you already could speak the language. So when you were reading, you could anticipate what the words would be. And you could listen to the English videos in English about English. Do you think that really helped you learning the rules in English about English?
Yeah, it really helped, I think.
Mm-hmm. Zaya, I really appreciate all of your help today.
Your story and today demonstrating your skill at English is going to encourage many parents to realize the value of starting lessons or starting exposing their kids to language at a very young age. So in the future, what is it that you would like to do?
Well, I'd like to become an artist.
Oh, okay. Are you watching many YouTube channels now about art?
Yeah, and mostly those videos about photography.
About what?
And most of those videos are about techniques like how to draw this and that.
Oh, okay. What kind of artist do you want to be?
I still can't decide right now, but I think I'll make up my mind.
What advice would you give to people who wanted to learn English or any language?
Well, I'd have to say you'd have to start learning speaking the language first. Then it'll be much easier to learn the reading and writing because you'll understand the words.
Zaya, could you please give some words of encouragement to people who are learning a foreign language or want to learn a foreign language? Can you do it in English, Mongolian, and Japanese?
Okay. Good luck on learning English and many more other foreign languages. And just keep studying until you get the pata doce, the chiche swakka, chicken,
Okay, thank you so much today, Zaya.
This is Zaya's mother, Michelle. Let's learn what she and her husband did to give their daughter the amazing ability to speak 3 languages.
Hi, I have a very special guest with me today. This is Zaya's mom. She and her husband are responsible for Zaya's incredible level of English. Zaya's mom is Michelle, and she's a wife and a mother. She's also has a part-time job in Japan, and she also makes her own YouTube videos for her YouTube channel called A Taste of Life. She does all of these things while living in a foreign country that's completely different than her own. Thank you so much for coming today. I heard that you were a child TV celebrity in Mongolia.
Yeah. Not. I was not so popular, but when I was a child, like when I was 8 years old, I joined the Mongolian national broadcaster. So I was a TV and child content host.
Wow. And so you're used to interviewing people.
Yes.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
used to contact with the camera. Yeah. So also, so my daughter maybe like cameras.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it's such a good experience, and it's a very important skill to have. First, let me tell you how much I admire what you're doing and what you've done with Zaya's education. I think that you and your husband can be very proud of the level of English that your actions have resulted in.
Thank you.
Uh, I asked some students what they would like to ask you, and here are a few of their questions. And first of all, they want to know about you and your own personal reasons for learning English yourself and how you did it.
Okay. When I was a child, the English was just a subject at my school. And but after my high school, I went to India because I have completed my bachelor degree there. So in India, there's most of the universities and the schools are in English medium. So my English is more improved in India.
Oh, very good. What did you study at university?
So my major is IT, information.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you have IT and English skills.
Yeah.
Wow. Very, very practical skills to have.
Yeah, but I never go to America, never go to some Western countries
Well,
yet. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, so maybe there's some problem with my accent or something. But there's so many people who speak in English in their way. So the most important thing is just people need to understand each other. So English is just a tool to communicate with other people.
That's right.
So
It's a tool.
I'm not giving some point or accent.
Yeah, as long as it's not too heavy and people can understand you, I don't think accent is the most important thing.
Yeah, even now you are understanding me. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I can understand you.
Yeah.
Have there been any opportunities that have come to you and your husband because of English?
Yeah, yes. So most of the big and good companies require some English skills. So if you can speak in English, that will be more beneficial to you.
So would you say that Mongolian students are extremely motivated
Yes.
to learn English?
Yes. So most of the young people now can speak in English.
How do you think they're learning English?
There's so many Western movies, and young people always listen some Western music, and so that influences them.
Oh, okay. Very good. Now let's move on to Zaya. How important was it for you and your husband to teach your kids English?
Actually, in middle school and high school, my English was not good. So when I first came to India, there were so many problems at the first year because of my language barrier or language problem. So I just thought that if I can, I need to teach foreign language to my kids as early as I can. So I try to show some English videos, and because it's saving kids time. Because if my child can speak in foreign language, that will be more easy to go for study abroad. If your child can't speak foreign language, maybe they can't go to any foreign country, they will need more time to,
More time, more money.
more time, more money.
That's true. That's so true. How much effort did you have to put into her English? Like, I write a blog called The Gift of English. I said, if you start your children when they're 0 to like 7 years old, you make the effort by choosing the videos, by giving them the exposure to English. The child doesn't really make any effort. They don't have to really even realize they're learning another language. The parent makes choices and takes action. Did you feel burdened by giving your child English, or was it pretty natural and easy?
I would say we started very early age, so that was not so much effort thinking. But me and my husband always pay some attention for my kids' education, even for Zaya's twins also. So that's why we are now in Japan, because in Japan there's some special educations are very good. So we moved to here.
Special education
System.
for your other Zaya's twin
Yeah,
sister.
twin sister.
Would you like to explain about Zaya's twin sister?
Yeah, actually, Zaya is twin. Her twin sister are the separate child. So, in Japan, there's a special educational system. Schools are very good, so we can take care.
Oh, okay, because Japan has very good schools for children with
Yeah.
severe physical disabilities.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it means that we pay lot of attention to our kids, like education, even for Zaya.
So you pay a lot of attention to it. But in reality, to actually get her to speak English, it wasn't that much effort on your part, on her part. It was just making choices to show her the videos, devote time to it.
Yeah.
And
There's so many study materials and so many informations available in English on the internet now. So Zaya can read and can listen and can watch and understand everything in English. So that's more easy. Now it's more easy for me. I just say, just search on the internet. You can find and you can read.
how about Zaya's younger sister? And she's what, four
Yes,
years old now?
She's not 4 years old. Now she also starts to speak English.
Wow. Does she speak Japanese?
She can understand Mongolian, Japanese, and English. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because I think maybe her English will be maybe more better than that, because Zaya is a teacher. She always played with her younger sister and she always talking in English.
She plays like a teacher does.
Yeah. So that younger sister always follows her sister. I'm not worrying about her language. But at home, I always try to speak in my mother language, Mongolian, because the kids must.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah.
Okay.
So how do you divide their time between Mongolian, English, and Japanese? Is there any special effort you make to assure that they have enough time in each language?
I'm not worrying about the Japanese, because Zaya always speaking Japanese and studying Japanese at school. So it means that the time spending on Japanese is from morning to afternoon, around 5 to 6 hours. She has a Japanese environment, so I'm not worrying about Japanese. But English and Mongolian, I just need to think about that. Yeah.
So you may need to make some effort
Yeah.
to prepare time and to prepare time for her to get the amount of exposure she needs.
Yeah. So mostly she watched some videos on YouTube, and sometimes she reads book in English and so. But too much screen time is like big for her. So I just say that 1 to 2 hours is enough.
Yeah.
If you completed your homework, you can watch TV or YouTube channels.
So 1 to 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and other time I always speak in Mongolian. When she say some words in English to me, I always answer with my Mongolian.
Yeah, we did the same thing with my children. They would say something in Japanese, and I would teach them how to say it in English. How do you choose the curriculum, or how do you choose the videos that they watch, and how important is it for parents to control their kids' screen time?
Yeah, there's so many contents are available on the internet. Some of them is very useless.
What would you consider to be useless?
If it's giving no information, if it's giving no knowledge, that will be, I would say,
Just silly actions.
Yeah, just opening the new toy box and showing them it's a good toy and try this one and say parents to buy this one for you or something. That's so useful.
I'm so glad to find another parent who thinks the same way. I always think, why do parents allow their kids to watch this?
So some videos have no speech, just showing some actions and like
Even though they're in English, they're made by English speakers, but they have no English value.
I like to show Zaya that English stories because the most of the English story videos are with the subtitle English subtitle under them, so she can listen and she can read and she can watch and practice her English at the same time.
So you made very smart choices about what they watched. And so she could watch whatever she liked as long as it fit your criteria for being useful. Yeah, I call so many of the videos that are on for kids, I just like, junk food. This junk video. It's really not good for your heart or your brain.
You need to control them. You just never leave unattended to your phone on the screen. You just control it. And it's possible. You can.
Excellent advice. Very, very important. Now, you mentioned to me at another time about the importance of input for learning a language. Could you talk about inputting the language?
I would say that if parents want to make their kids foreign language speaker, they need to give more input. You know that our kids first speak, then they learn to write and read. Yeah. So if you want to make your kids successful foreign language speaker, you need to model. Input means just anything. It can be music, it can be videos, and it can be your speech. Even just reading books in English, that will be more helpful.
Yeah. You can read in books or shorten videos where somebody's reading.
If you're worried about too much screen time is not good for kids, you can buy books from the bookstore or
even Kindle has very cheap books.
Yes, I'm using Kindle most of the time. So that's a paperless and very useful.
Yes, and then you only need one device.
Yeah, and so it's not colorful, so it's good for eyesight. Yeah, so try to give more input.
There's so many things. So as far as the amount of effort you put into it, basically it wasn't too much effort to get Zaya to be an English speaker. It was just making choices and sticking to them. Like, at what age did you start her watching English, and how many hours a day did she watch English videos?
Okay, so you know that I have twins. It means I'm so busy. So also,
and one had a severe physical handicap.
So that's why when I was her baby, I just turned on the TV, so put some English TV channels. So she was watching. Yeah, so it started from 1 year old, maybe.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. And also, I tried to teach colors in English. I tried to teach numbers in English.
So you were teaching her exactly what you would be teaching her in Mongolian. You like parents teach their kids their own language.
Your Mongolian was very good at a young age. It was very, very good. So Zaya is very talented language.
Yeah. Even if other parents did exactly what you did, the outcome might not be quite as high as Zaya's.
Every kid has different.
Yes.
About my daughter, she's very good.
And very interested in language.
Yeah.
And communicating.
Yes.
And thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps. Has it been difficult for you as a non-Japanese parent to have your kids in Japanese school?
Yes. Yeah, I face always some problems. Yeah. But my husband can speak in Japanese, so it happens a lot. But he has a work every morning. go to the office, and so I need to handle all the
Details.
details.
Or you have to pick up your kids after school.
And take delivery for them and groceries and so. But day by day, it's getting better because my Japanese is also getting better nowadays. Yeah, but I always thank to English because even I can't speak in Japanese, I still can stay here because most of the things written in English at the store. And
There's some way to communicate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very primitive,
yes.
but yeah.
even they use katakana, so pronunciations are really difficult in katakana, but still I can communicate.
You can do something, and there's always
Yeah.
Siri, or there's always Deep Out
Yeah.
to translate
Yeah.
things for us.
Like if I say words in Mongolian, nobody will understand me. Yeah, but if I say words in English here, that people, if I say 2 or 3 times, maybe we can understand. Oh, yeah, understand.
In the future, where would you like Zaya to attend college?
Yeah, we are just thinking about it, but I think she will go for Harvard or MIT or good university. What colleges in America? So I'm dreaming about it. So that's why I'm teaching English to my daughter. Yeah.
Well, she speaks 3 languages. The colleges in America do consider all kinds of special skills
Yeah.
that show effort. In America, they do emphasize not only the test scores, but also your life experience. Are you an interesting person with an interesting family background, or having done anything interesting? One question: what do you see as a big difference between the Mongolian school system and Japanese school system?
Yeah, in Japan, the school teach some life science. What should I say? Yes, school teach some how to grow plants, how to be responsible for your things.
In Japan,
Yeah, you need to carry all your belongings by yourself, and so you need to pay attention to some plants, have to grow flowers, or something, doing some projects by your hand. And so on.
okay.
But in Mongolia, we pay more attention to maths,
Academic subjects.
Yeah, academic subjects. So,
Okay.
so there's a little bit different.
I think there's going to be, in the next 5 or 6 years, a big revolution in education. The college system might greatly change. There's going to be some really good choices for Zaya in the future, a little bit more freedom and opportunities to get a really good education.
Language also give some chances to learn other countries' culture. So Zaya can speak in English, so she can read lot about the other countries also. So she can understand. That's why she interested more and more the things, because she has not any language barriers. So world is open to her.
This is something I really want parents to understand. Beyond just getting a job, beyond just passing a university test, the language opens up so much more information. All the important conversations in the world are happening in English. And if you want to be part of that, you have to speak more English. Can you summarize for Japanese parents what you would advise them to do if they wanted to give their kids the gift of English?
Well, parents would make some efforts to teach English to their kids, because it means that you are opening doors to your kids.
So they have to make efforts by the choices they make, how they spend their time, what they allow them to watch, or what resources they get their kids to use in their daily life.
Must give some English environment to their kids. So otherwise it will be. So the environment is very important. Just write some words in English and just stick on the walls anywhere. And also try to improve their English knowledge by themselves. Because if kids can speak in English, if parents can't understand, that will be like difficult. Because when Zaya is speaking English to me, I always understand, and sometimes I reply in English, and it means that we are practicing the language at home. So the parents need to improve with their kids.
And they need to make it into a family activity.
Yes.
This is our family time, and we do this speaking other languages.
Yes. So I also realized that if speaking English, their mind will be more open, maybe more free to express themselves. They are open-minded.
Yes, more than one child has told this to me, that when they speak in English, their personalities change.
Yeah.
And adults have told me the same thing too.
Yeah. So for adults, for example, it will be more that the person will be more confident because I can speak in English. If people don't understand Japanese, I can say in English. Even I realize that Japanese people can speak English. They so proud of them of me. This truth here. So I just English is popular in Japan. Yeah. They like people who can speak English. Try to improve. Try to add your input more because just add some English words and try to work.
And which means make sacrifices to devote time to English. And you have to give up your Japanese YouTube time. You have to give up some time going out with your friends. You have to decide to devote the amount of time you need to learning a foreign language. I make bad choices by not choosing to use my time to listen to Japanese videos. And there's no secret about why I don't speak more Japanese. I'm not doing the input for many reasons. You're a busy mother. You have so many things going on. You are limited in your time. But when we do have a few moments, what do we choose?
Yeah. So today's me is just my yesterday's choice. Today,
Could you say that again, please?
Yes. So today's me is just my yesterday's choice.
Today's me is my yesterday's choice. That's a great expression, everybody. Did you do that? Today's me is yesterday's choices.
Yeah. So if I think about the better tomorrow, so I need to be more effective or more hard work.
They realize, I better make some good choices today. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate you taking this time. And I think that many parents are going to be very inspired by your actions and what you've chosen to do for your kids. And I wish you all the luck in the world and the choices you have to make in the future.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much. Thank you.